for the next episode on. That's going to be season 3, episode 1. Okay. Welcome to this week's exciting episode of season 3 of Insani Bombela. Oh, before you ask, yes, Insani Bombela goes mobile yet again. This is season 3. We told you guys we're going to switch things up, do things a little bit differently, and I finally get to meet the reclusive Wayne Barker, who invited us into his garden. Never seen this guy's got a bigger garden than most people's houses, but that's another story. I love it, and yeah, we're here to meet the man, the legend, and yeah, I'm speaking too much. Mr. Wayne, introduce yourself to my people.
How's it? Hunjani? I'm doing my own language here because I think I'm an artist because I can hardly even speak English. Howzy? Howzolo?
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, but you know,
Howzolo?
Howzolo? Howzy? It's like a Joburg Tsoti, Mr. Wayne, Mr. Ziggy.
Yeah. So wait. So if Mr. Wayne, so that makes you a little bit like the South African version of Batman.
Do you think Batman?
Batman, because Wayne.
Oh, you mean John Wayne, Bruce Wayne?
That's it. That's the one. That's why. So I guess it's a Wayne thing. Where the Waynes like to be, they keep to themselves. They do wonderful things behind closed doors, and that's actually what you're doing here. I've never seen it such a beautiful, stunning place. Well done.
Thank you.
Well played.
It's taken quite a while, as I told you earlier. Moving into a new posse, a new village, a whole new system.
Yes.
So it's kept me alive to work and make and get back in touch with nature. You see, and that's I think that's why somehow it the garden revived me from the trauma, and I told you I came here in COVID and then learned how to build, to work in the garden, to plant veggies.
Basically working the land.
In a way, yes, to work, yeah. And yourself while you're doing it.
Absolutely. There's something very therapeutic about working with animals and floral and trees and stuff like that, because that means that you are hopeful. You are hopeful and you've got care, because trust me, I don't care how good your manure is, if your fingertips and don't have love oozing through them, then nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen.
And I learned from day one when I moved here, all the leaves. I have 3 compost heaps. It's the best posse in my garden.
Yeah.
Because all the trees here are indigenous.
Yes.
From the Kruger.
Yes.
But the plants are not. So all of these leaves go, so that manure gooi back in the garden, and so it's become an ecosystem
on its
own. Because you can see these arches here. Of course, I chainsaw cut the trees, but also I don't have to water so much, because it's all going back into the garden, if it makes sense. Like an organism, like a natural greenhouse.
A natural greenhouse.
In my bath, for example, when I open the bath, when I let the water out, in the garden. Nice. When I open the pool to clean it, I don't use much chlorine into the garden. So, I find it very weird how sometimes, these people, they have these huge houses, these big swimming pools, and there's so much waste in that.
Totally.
When you come visit, you'll see the herb garden, the veggie garden. It's going to be coming, and it's amazing to eat your own food that you grow.
Absolutely, because 89% of us, we don't know what coriander looks like, because we see it already crushed up with a label on it.
So when I'm I suppose a dreamer. and an idealist, right? So I come and then I see shit. You won't believe in a month. There's granadilla. I call it the magogadilla. It's the wild yellow granadilla.
Yeah.
Hundreds. I'm starting a whole vineyard there. Then I'm an idealist. Then I look around me and I think to the people in the village, why don't they, do a workshop? The government should do it or something, or we can do it as artists or whatever. The people can grow their own shit. The problem is the whole infrastructure is just, but it makes so much more sense. Instead of building a horrible square RDP house, you could build a rondavel with the same amount of rooms for half the money. It's living friendly. You know, we haven't gone there yet. Like the white man always like he wants to go back to the bush, the black man back into the city. Forget all of that stuff. Yeah. It's survival now. Like, global warming and businesses or farmers or someone should invest in the upliftment of the people in a village. So you say, okay, here's a garden, because you see them growing and they sell. But if you haven't got the infrastructure, you basically, it's almost like the government just doesn't give enough. I'm talking about. I'll go into the township and the village in Orlando. There's 5 kids. There's a Madala. He's looking after them. They're not at school.
What's the point?
That's for me unlawful.
Actually, it is illegal. Actually,
do you know what I mean? And the Madala's there and he's good. He's probably worked his whole life in the in the sugarcane farm or whatever. He's now somewhere else. But as an artist, I think some artists are idealistic. And of course, I came in the beginning. I wanted to do this the first month. Of course, it's 5 years later. But if you get initiatives it can definitely change people's lives, and art can change people's lives. Because they work with your hands.
I like the sound
and your mind, and you. How do I? I'm a scavenger in the garden. I've become a scavenger. I've got to, and I'm cleaning and fixing and seeing what I can plant. We are scavengers.
That's beautiful.
But if we just give and the people are hardworking here. I'm telling you, I've never seen when they dug the plumbing for this thing about 4 kilometers down there.
I'm sure it was not 4 kilos.
Yeah, but 45 degrees. These guys just work. You just think yo.
Yeah, 45 degrees sounds more like combative work.
It's the story.
It is the story. Oh, ladies and gents, before I forget, we've been hosted by Wayne Barker and Ziggy. Ziggy is somewhere running around here. He's the cutest little dog I've ever seen. I've always had a soft spot for Jack Russells. And this one looks like it has a little bit of wild dog in him. So yeah, he's living wild.
On the wild side. Ziggy's the boss.
Ziggy is the boss. He actually runs this joint. I can tell. So yeah, like I was saying, Mr. Wayne, tell us about your early life.
Well, I was born in Voortrekkerhoogte, a military camp.
You were born on the camp itself?
Or in the military hospital or whatever.
Okay, on
right?
The camp, yeah.
And, grew up there in a tiny little place, Valhalla.
Yeah.
And
Valhalla on the L55.
Yeah. And then I went to school, to a private school. And then at that private school, I think that I also went to a Jewish nursery school and then to a private school. And I think that was a very good upbringing just for the first few years, because the Jewish people were totally non-racist, not like now, but and it was all about love. And then I went to the other school, and they were my age, black guys. Maybe they were from the embassy, from Zambia or whatever, but black kids, Chinese kids, many different in that school.
And this is all
in 60, 70, yes, 68, around there.
Damn. Okay.
Because they were private schools, so they didn't have to, there wasn't apartheid in a private school.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but anyway, so I think that was quite an interesting thing, actually, because I think when you're young, you don't have race, you don't really have those things until you learn them.
Hate gets taught. That's what I've learned in my life so far.
No, it's a total. It gets taught, and then you become accustomed to it, and you need it, but you don't need it.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in Komatipoort? I mean, like, all I'm saying is that
It's a very long story.
long story.
It's a long story. We're going to get Ziggy to write a little book. The long story.
Because
But,
now, what I'm
yes,
thinking is, born and bred in Pretoria, you started in UCT. We'll come back to that.
yes.
But then Komatipoort, those three places could not be further removed.
Yeah,
from each
and I
other.
studied in Marseille in France.
Marseille in
I got
France.
a postgraduate degree in. I lived there for a year, and that was another story.
South of France.
Yeah,
No,
for a year, and I've never suffered so much in my whole life.
the French are
I
not
was at
nice
the
people, are they?
university. I'm supposed to get money. I was living in a tiny little room. Sometimes I would actually even cook my other artist friend's sculptures. He was making a bread sculpture.
Wait, he was making a bird sculpture?
Yeah, and I'd arrive in the studio and I've got no money, nothing, just some small. Well, then I would steal his baguettes to make a.
Yeah, really. Once you hoy some olive oil,
Yeah.
it's a meal.
Yeah, a bit of garlic, you're crying.
So did you deliberately want to get yourself kicked out of the clan, the high school, the clan? Because you were kicked out of for something weird, something small.
I think I was kicked out because I had a big problem with the English teacher and the maths teacher.
Yeah.
And I arrived at a concert Puzzed. 14-year-old Puzzed. They didn't like it.
Sure.
So it was.
That was it.
That was it.
That was the first and the last strike, right?
Yeah, and then also you're growing up, and I was also listening to Bob Marley. He was coming out then, 76.
Yes.
So already I was seeing what I'm not, and as a 14-year-old, you shouldn't really be happy with society. You should be questioning things.
Yes.
You know, that are affecting you or whatever, or other people around you. So then, you know, having all the. I even saw Peter Tosh in Swaziland.
Okay. Wow.
He played live, and also who was the other guy who played live? But we were allowed to go there, but there were strict things because remember the apartheid were all watching anyone who was doing anything funny.
Yes.
But there I was still at school. But then at university, then I was even arrested by the police. After university, they say, "Oh, you're an artist. You have a traffic fine." They kept me in a cell in John Foster Square there.
Whoa.
For a traffic offence I committed 6 months ago that I didn't pay. Now I'm in jail. They lose my docket. They were playing Johnny Clegg to me. They say to me, "Do you like black music?" Now I'm like 25 years old. I don't even know court or jail or anything. And I said, "No, of course I like it. I mean, don't you like it?" "Oh, okay. Oh, we see you didn't do your national army. You got out after 2 weeks." Then I'm thinking, yo, this apartheid is scary. Like the FBI, like the Russian guys.
Yeah, the KGB, yeah.
Yeah, what were they called? They all drove the big Datsuns. You knew they'd follow chummies of mine and musicians. So Joburg was a boiling pot of artists, creatives, Hugh Masekela, John the Market Theatre.
Yes.
You know, everyone was learning about we need change. You know, and Mandela's in jail, and we all know what's going on. So it's not really a rebel. I think it's a rebel with a cause.
A rebel with a cause.
Yeah.
So how did you actually orchestrate to get yourself kicked out of the army? Like how? I mean, they declared you mentally what?
Mentally and physically disabled, which is one. It's called G4, K4. If you get G5, K5, it means you're dead. Okay. So it's the top one before dead.
So how did you orchestrate that?
You know, I'd already been to university. I had black chummies. I had jazz musicians from Soweto, just because I'm an artist and that's who I met. You know what I mean? So, and it was not right that the military was going in Sebokeng, killing people. Not the police, the military. Remember, the yellow guys in that big
Toyota buggy, yeah.
That big buggy.
The mellow yellow.
The mellow, yeah, the unmellow yellow. So, but anyway, so then I arrive, and they already know from your school because they were already teaching you that this guy's a sportsman. He's a footballer, so he's going to go with all the footballers and the rugby players. They be in one camp because they're all like the same things.
Yes.
So I end up in with all the sports guys and Afrikaners and the people who want to be in the army, and I just think, no, the fuck, I can't stay here. I don't want to be here. I don't want a gun. I don't want it. It's not my story. Slowly, they're teaching us to march, and then, do you know Charlie Chaplin, the famous guy? So I started marching
like Charlie Chaplin.
Like I'm not there, but everything else is good. The sports, the baddie, everything,
but you're marching like an idiot.
Yeah, so they say to me, now what's wrong? And I say, I don't know, but maybe I'll see a doctor or, I don't know. But they know that I'm a sportsman, so
you can't be
doing that. But they never found out. Next minute into the hospital, and they observed me and they asked me questions. But my girlfriend at the time was a famous actress. So before, when I'd fetch her from acting, they have a book on, if you want to play a mad guy, these are things and psychology, so you can get into character.
Yeah.
So I studied this book. So when I go into the hospital and I meet the doctor now they wanted to fuck me up badly, because if you make a mistake, you're messing everyone.
Yes.
I walk in, I see the same book on the table. Bingo. So he asks me questions and I tell him exactly the wrong thing that's in the book, which means you mad. It was an act of God. Really. Because so then he's now getting all worried.
Yes.
Because then the other thing I told him, I said to him, listen, my father, everyone is in the military.
Yes.
I want to go to the border. I want to fight. This guy now is more confusing because I'm not telling them that I don't want to be there. I'm telling them these other things here. Yes. But I want to be here. Help me. Then they put me into like a madhouse.
Yeah.
For like 3 days to observe and give you tablets and see and make drawings, and I can draw. So I draw some crazy thing. They say, what does this mean? I tell them, Nyama. It's this and this and this and this. Next minute, no, this guy is...
Nope, he's not fit for service.
He's not just going to kill us.
Damn.
Yeah, so it was good, but after that...
Yeah.
My chummies from school. How can I do that? I'm saying, what do you mean? They said, no, they didn't speak to me because I didn't do that. Because it was compulsory.
It was compulsory for
Otherwise, 7 years jail. And that's hectic.
It is hectic.
But I just thought I'm going to tune it. Took 14 days.
It took you 14 days to convince the then South African government that you were unfit for service.
Yeah, because I still am.
Well done.
I am still. Yeah,
So wait, third generation Barker, you are supposed to go to the army and you get kicked out of the army. What did your dad have to say about that?
Well, that's the thing. He was devastated. He didn't speak to me for 2 years. And we'd have big fights. Then the one day I go visit them, the family. I would visit, and I told him the story and he laughed. He laughed and laughed and laughed. He was like, no, you must be clever, my friend, because that one, because you couldn't do that.
You couldn't.
Because, when they take you in a truck to the hospital, it's a proper hospital for the maddies.
Yes.
You'll see other guys, like mad guys, punching the door, fuck that. So,
banging their head against
or other ones that are gay, but they're really gay. They're really funny. And they do, and now I walk in there and I think, okay, let's take notes. Let's see what's going on here.
Have you ever thought of acting? Because clearly you have the knack for it.
No, that was desperation. Why must I go and kill my musician friends in Sabo King? Are you mad?
That's true.
Why must I do it? Why must I do it? The good thing about, my father is that he was very funny. Like, of course, we had a maid and he had a gardener.
Yeah.
But he would never treat them badly as human beings. Do you know what I mean? He'd never unjustly.
Talk down to them. It
I
was
always talked down. I mean, the white man was the big boss,
yeah,
the patriarch.
yeah.
Yeah, but he was never nasty.
Okay, he
You
was
know what
not
I mean?
rude about it.
No, he was never like irrational or because I would see
Abusive.
some very funny things. Of course, as a person growing up, you see those things in that society. And then the fact that he laughed so much when I told him the whole story. I said, I learned everything from you guys. You're all military, so I know what you think. So we
Wow.
made chummies finally.
Finally.
Yeah, because it wasn't apartheid was a very the Mlungus didn't like it. Many people didn't like it, but the government, you were paid as a military guy, you were paid by the government.
Mm.
Even SAA was South African, so
Yes.
you vote for us and we keep it like this, and then the world and the people
Mm.
has, since then, suddenly it changed. And, I even worked on a news thing in Mandela's release. It could have been chaos. It can't. It won't be now. But I mean, it was. It was
It would
hectic.
have been back in the days.
It was hectic, and if we just there's a lot of issues still, but that thing changed.
So, okay.
Yeah, I forgave my father after what because I couldn't believe that he still believed because when Mandela was president, he was depressed. He couldn't realize there was a black man that was now his boss.
Mm.
In a way,
Mm.
if that can make sense.
Mm.
They ruled everything, the Mlungu then.
Yes.
Fuck, they had like everything. The dollar was 75 cents for $1.
Whoa. Wow.
75 cents.
Do you know who it is today?
22
Okay.
rand
Yes.
for $1, not that way. So remember, they were good. The gold and Miss South Africa, they were.
Sure, but
And they carried on listening to the government like the people do in countries. You know what I mean? And then things changed. I don't know how we got onto that.
Okay.
Oh, the army, yeah. So but you had to do the army to defend that, and
the livelihood of the
just that thing of apartheid.
Sure.
Because it wasn't that old when it was dismantled, but they were clever to how they did it. You'd have one entrance to Soweto, then you just bomb it. They were they were very clever. The education, and do you know? Also remember about the apartheid thing. Often people don't remember. The English came,
Yeah.
and the mines.
Mm.
The first union was Afrikaans and black people together. In maybe 1930, you can check it, fighting against the English because the English came, the mines, the money. They even started the concentration camp that Hitler took. They were the beginners.
Yeah.
Here with the Afrikaner.
Yes.
The Afrikaner were poor. They arrived on the fucking Volkswagen. Jan van Riebeeck told them, fuck off now, no more money. Go. You can go into Africa and go and live there. They arrived with a mother on this thing for how many thousands of kilometers. They didn't have bucks. Then they mined. Then the English come with all the big bucks. The King of England,
George.
So all of those things, that's just that's the history that I know that has made me question many things about all sorts of things.
Mr. Wayne,
yeah,
okay, fine. Then let's shed some light on
that's where we need. That's what we actually all deserve. You know what I mean? We deserve a bit of light. That's why we're here in the garden.
Actually, that is definitely true. Let's shed some light now. I am before it gets too dark and we're gonna need a box of tissues and stuff like that.
Forget it.
Okay. So let's go into your art. Can you would you say your art is more contemporary or abstract?
That's the new art school, contemporary art. But as a person living in 2025, you are contemporary.
Yes.
If you're living in 2010, you're making art, you're contemporary.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So, I can draw you sitting here. I can draw you But contemporary art is, art's changed over the years.
Yes.
So I think my art for my sins, which is maybe why it's sometimes a lonely, in a way, profession. I'll feel something and then I'll draw it, and at the end of the day, that painting is my feeling on that subject.
So that's how
I
you
sort of
express yourself.
experience it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone can say, I want to exhibit this with water in the Tate Modern Museum,
Yes.
half water,
Yes.
and it's got a title, and it's a beautiful work. You look at it, you think, shit. But I like to also work with materials, it's almost like a shamanistic
It's a
approach.
calling. It's a calling where
It is a calling. Yeah.
So, what would you say is your favorite medium to work with? Is it painting?
It's paint.
It's
It's
painting.
oil. Yeah, because it's just it's pigment, and I use the very good oils, the best that they've been using for 500 years, except now it's in a tube. So the pigment is real. It's not the plastic shit. It's alive. So you're working with that, and then you've got all these brushes. Then you must make the canvas, and you work with this stuff. You work with your hands. Like if you're cooking, it's like cooking.
Mm.
You're working, and then I get a big canvas like this big. Normally I know sometimes, but then you think, no, you have an idea, and then you go in there, and you go in, and you find something, and then you go.
So you prefer oil to acrylic based paint?
Yes, but I'll use all mediums sometimes for different reasons.
Okay.
Some dry quicker. Sometimes you need it, but it's all to work with. If you think about what color is,
Yeah.
and the energy of color,
Yes.
it has energy. It must have vibrations. You can walk into somebody's house now and you look at a painting, two paintings. The one is going to tell you you're going to love it.
Yes.
The one maybe no.
No. Yeah.
So you're working with light and with pigment. So even if I'm going to paint this face here, I'm working with that. So it's interesting to work with the natural mediums like color and pigment.
Why is it so difficult to get oil paint, like oil painting out of your clothes? I've had it on some of once it's
these are only about 2 weeks old, and there's not one piece on yet. This car, the glasses, everywhere. Even my hat, even it's painted.
It does not come out like
I don't. You can't worry about it because what you're gonna do?
I wish. Mr. Baker.
Yes.
Were you formally trained in your line of work? You actually mentioned something that is not on your Wikipedia. Yes, ladies and gents, this man actually has an active Wikipedia page. Who knew? I knew people like that.
Yeah, Ziggy, you didn't even know.
No, Ziggy doesn't know
because Ziggy's only 3 years with me.
Between me and you, I think Ziggy is the one who actually wrote the damn thing. He's the one who actually uploaded it to Wikipedia.
He must have.
So they mentioned the UCT my Keller's school,
yes,
at the University of Cape Town, but you also studied in Marseille.
Yes,
Marseille, France.
Okay. The French love art. They even think that the Mona Lisa is the guy who made it was French. He wasn't. He was Italian.
He's Italian.
They just love art.
Was it?
Yeah, they just love art. So they saw my work and they said, "We'll give you this degree. Come work here for 1 year and at the university, and then
take it from there."
Yeah.
Which art galleries has your work been featured in? Let's start with the ones in South Africa.
Well, in fact, I started the first contemporary gallery called the Fig Gallery.
The Fig?
Famous international gallery in 1987.
Okay.
But anyway, but many, the Everard Reed, the Smack Gallery, many.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I still work with the Everard Reed Gallery. I've just completed the show Migration Through Light. Did you see that?
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that. You sent it to us to actually have a look. The only part I actually miss about life in Joburg is that whole the parks.
Yes.
Where you could go to the Goodman Gallery, you can go to Seca on Angelico, you can go to Momo Gallery, you can go to Everard Reed, God Art.
Yes, he's great.
He's
Godard.
great.
He's a good guy.
Gordon Fowd is an amazing guy.
Yeah, a
He's an
totally amazing guy, and he's done a lot for the arts, for all
Absolutely.
different people. When you're in the art business, it is a business, and you have to have the integrity, and you can't lie to people.
I know.
I've built up a name. I have a name. The people say I'm famous. Ziggy doesn't agree, but so
Ziggy's the boss, so yeah, I'm going with Ziggy on this one.
Definitely going with Ziggy. The thing is, but the thing is, it's just how it is. It's like your profession. It's like any profession. There's, as you said, people think, oh, artists, it's just fun and fun and fun. Sometimes for 2-3 months, you've got an exhibition, you've booked it already, they want it. You can't work. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know anything. It's, fuck, I've lost the plot. Because imagine from nothing, from zero,
yes,
like this, you start to paint and you make something.
Yes.
Hopefully someone buys it.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, and after I've been doing it for how many years now? 40
plenty years, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I have galleries, so you just work slowly. But African art's very trendy now. So you'll even have some young artists who 23, 25. They're already showing in London. They're famous. They're selling their work for $100,000.
Dollars and pounds.
Young, 21, 25. Damn. But anyway, that's where it is. That's how it is. That's how it is, yeah, because they want to see the young black artists. So then some are very good, of course.
And some of them are shite.
Yeah, and some of them are shite, yeah. Same with all. In South Africa, maybe there's 20 good artists. Anyway.
So I wanted to, my question is, when you do a painting and you've perfected it and you like it, do you duplicate it, or it's just one of each?
No, it's one off. Because also the thing is, but it's normally I'll start with the theme. So, for example, when I moved here to the garden, I'm living in the garden. I'm living in the Kruger Park. So, and I'm loving it. So this is now my theme of the beauty and the light in Mbelo, right? So then I'll start with maybe a tree or something that I like. Then I'll make 10 paintings with that theme. So this painting has got brothers and sisters. They don't look like this, but it's on the same thing. Remember Je suis that they killed those people in France, right?
Yeah.
My wife was there at that time, not at the club. And Je suis means I am. And Mandela had just passed. So I made the show called The Normal Man. Who is the normal man? So with that idea, I made this big painting with the neon, the beadworks to heal. So I come up with which I feel from observing the world, with an idea. And with that idea, when I'll make one painting, or I'll decide I'm going to make 10, or when the idea runs out, when I'm finished feeling angry about it or loving it, it's over. Like someone makes an album, there's 10 songs.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 are brilliant, but it's an album. So it's almost like I make a body of work.
Okay. Wait. This one was made in commemoration of the big guy.
Of the big guy, Nelson Mandela, at the same time that the
passed on.
Yeah, and that the terrorists took out the people in Paris.
Is that the one with the truck where somebody?
No, this is Je suis, the guy. They took out the cartoonist because he drew the picture of Muhammad.
Yes.
Yeah. It was chaos. Many young children, were at this party at this nightclub, and it was terrible. But and the Gaza was going on, so it was all about
bringing it all together onto one piece at peace.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, who is the normal man? So then I put an advert in the newspaper to say I want to paint anybody who wants me to do their portrait. They can call me and they can visit my studio. I'm going to photograph them and I'm going to paint them, because they are the normal man. Like Mandela is the normal man, because he was a normal guy, actually.
How many?
But he changed so many things. So then people came, also part of the show. It was a big show, like maybe 80 works.
Damn.
So here's the so strangers came, phoned me, and they came, and then I painted them. This is my wife, a portrait, right?
Yeah.
This is a guy, and he read in the newspaper. He came, I painted him. There are many.
Yes.
So these are all the people that the big guy and Ubuntu. It was that idea of we all normal, we all cry, we all kill. You know, we shouldn't all kill, but you know, we feel things.
Yes.
And Mandela was for the people.
So,
you know, so that's why after that brutal attack in Paris,
yeah,
Mandela's passing, I thought, you know, what's normal anymore in the world? Like, go into a nightclub. When I used to go to the nightclub, you wouldn't get that.
You wouldn't get killed.
No, you wouldn't get killed.
No.
Anyway, so it was just questioning. You know, I can tell you many things about what this work means to me.
I know.
But the thing is, I think if you have a good work, a good artwork,
share it with the world.
No, and then anyone looks at it, they can also interpret it. And if it's a good one, they'll think they will make their own idea about something that is maybe universal about something. You know, instead of just saying one thing like, you know, fuck off terrorists. It's too simple. But in this one, maybe I'm talking about many other things.
5 other causes that speak to your heart that are expressed through art.
Yeah.
So,
and making a mark with that pigment, with the paint.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like
I'm with you 100%. I can actually see it. I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, Wayne, let me see if I understand this. You had a body of work called The Normal Man.
Correct. Yes.
Which was this was the centerpiece for The Normal Man. And it was to commemorate the terrorist attack in Jesuit with and it also unfortunately enough coincided with the death of our beloved Nelson Mandela.
Exactly.
And the war in the Middle East never actually stopped. They have ceasefires every 6 hours. So you brought it all together into one piece of artwork. Now, guys, I don't know if you a picture is supposed to say 1,000 words, but this one doesn't actually translate. This thing is 2.2 meters long, high and 4 meters long. So it's hell of a big. It's as big as your car, like, just to put it nicely. And you sold this. This was sold.
It was sold. Yes.
It was sold. How much was it sold for? And how big is the wall that it was actually mounted on?
A big wall at Circa Gallery in Joburg. 500,000 K.
500,000 K. We're talking Zimbabwean dollars.
Yeah, we're talking the good South African rand. The rancy. So also in all of this drama, often I make work that's made out of glass beads, like small beads.
Yeah.
That Cause Woman make for me. So the work is in fact made of glass. And I make that work on the computer, but often there's always beadwork.
Yeah.
Part of an exhibition. So because of all this negativity, etc., I made huge 2-meter diameter round glass beadworks of the aloe, because the aloe has healing properties.
Absolutely.
So you walked through this drama of all these different artworks, and then you came to 3 beautiful panels of the aloe. You know, because healing is necessary in the world, and I felt it was a plant that has properties in real life that I responded to it. So then I made massive big works out of it, and you can see them in the entrance of Standard Bank of their head office.
Speaking of places your work has been exhibited at, have you ever had any an art installation at Arts on Main? Because
not as far. I have actually on some art fairs, but there aren't really galleries there. It's only William's Story, and then there's David Kratt, who does printmaking.
Yes.
And I didn't need to. You know, I work with it will read. I was having a show with 40 pieces every year, so it's a lot of work I make. But now I have a show with him every 2 years. I've just had the one show.
Yeah, it ended on the 28th of Feb. Ne?
That's right. Yeah.
Nice one. Nice one. I actually about the question about the arts on Maine. I actually got it from there because they said that you something about the northeastern part of the Joburg CBD. Now I lived in the Joburg CBD for 8 years, so
Yeah.
my map is still on. I'm like, but northeast, that's towards the highway,
Yes.
and that's arts on Maine is there.
Because I lived in a block of flats which I still own, so some small flats in Beryl Court, the famous Beryl Court.
Whoa.
And the tribal, all arts and man came later because
yes,
at the time of apartheid, that video, everything, a lot of cool people, even the Minister of Finance, the Indian guy in Mandela, he lived there.
Huh.
So it was a hub of artists. You know, Joburg was a melting pot of...
It still is, just it's bigger.
Yeah,
now.
so Arts on Man came later when they got a whole lot of billions of euros from the Dutch.
Yes.
To make that, and they're in trouble, I think. But anyway, it's another
that is
story.
True. That's another story. Honestly, that's a conversation all by itself.
Yeah, because Benji is not a good guy.
Do you have a favorite art piece of yours?
I think it must be this one. That
yeah, the Jiso.
Yeah, but then also the new work on the beadwork. You didn't know that I work with these people who make my work in beads.
No.
That's such a big part of the whole story. Look here. so tell me, so for example, this was at the Grand Palace in France.
Whoa.
They invited galleries who show artists from Africa, no matter if they're Belgian or if they wherever.
Was the piece called Mademoiselle?
My show was called Mademoiselle. So, for example, so these are all made of glass. Look here.
Before you guys wonder, we're gonna actually put these JPEGs onto the episode, so don't worry about it.
Look here. So it's made of. This is life size. So it's all glass.
How big is it?
Is each piece 1 meter by 1 meter?
1 meter by 1 meter.
But you're gonna see more. I'll send you all this.
Okay.
So this was at the Grand Palais, and I used the fashion designer Coco Chanel with the African portrait of a woman that I drew. Like, where's beauty? Is it European beauty, African beauty, and then the landscape? Anyway, they all have their own meanings and bullshit.
And who makes the beads for you?
These women called me.
Yeah.
From Cape Town, and a woman that worked with them, and she said, "Wayne, we know you're an artist. We want to teach these people to make artworks using beadworks because they were making crocodiles." And I thought, no, fuck, I don't want them to make my artwork. I'm so exhausted of the stereotype of Africa and beads. So I made them 110 drawings, small ones.
Yeah.
And they made the work, and I was like, what the fuck? So we went from 8 centimeters by 12 into 2 meter by 2 meter ones. It's mad.
It is mad, especially considering that it's beads.
It's beads. And I pay them so well, the women. They're like my sisters. But sometimes 12 people will work on this for a month. For me to get them to make it, they get $100,000 straight.
This thing is beautiful.
Thanks, man.
That's crazy.
It's nuts.
That's crazy.
So creative.
Dude,
no, they're nuts, these chicks.
Do you know,
I love them. They're my sisters. But, you know, they get a lot of money, and you think, oh, when I sell this, I get it. But at the end, you don't sell this every day.
Wait, Wayne, my next question, you actually went into my next question, which is, do you collaborate with other artists? And from what I've seen, these women are artists themselves.
Yes,
because
but they do make their own work.
Yes,
now,
yeah, absolutely.
Now, but it would be, it's not really contemporary fine art. It's more of a rural scene of a village, and it's not.
Dude,
they're not. They don't want to do what I do, because what I do is completely the unknown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They make their work. I even organized them shows in London and Paris of their own work, but their own work, it's not any form of judgment or whatever. But
It's not your cup of tea.
No, well, it's not. It hasn't transcended into fine art. They're art. They're craftsmen. Me, I'm an artist. I can't make that. Not a fuck. But so they're craftsmen, and their own artwork. Maybe they'll sell one piece that takes them long, maybe for $1,000, because there isn't a market for them. Because many of those paintings in Cape Town would all look the same.
Yeah, that's true.
But I organize them jobs with other artists, and do you know what I mean? Because as an artist, I go into the cave there, into that studio, and I work, and I make that Je suis painting. It's me alone with my thoughts, etc. But when I make this drawing, I send this drawing to 7 aunties who like my sisters, and they then make it. Plus, they're getting paid.
Yes.
Before me, even. Sometimes they get whatever, however that happens. And then being the artist in the cave is a selfish one, but also if you can employ other people to help within that. Their children go to school, they love me. I mean, they've earned a lot of money from another artist. And sometimes I don't even have money, and then I phone them myself.
Gooby. Wayne, do you have an apprentice that you are tutoring? Because it would be so sad for all of this to go to waste.
But no, that's a very good question, because as I told you when you arrived here, this is now all that drama of apartheid and everything is over. And the fighting with the neighbor.
Yes.
I'm creating the famous International Garden Gallery there in the Wendy.
Oh, so, right here on the property.
On the property. As you haven't seen yet, there's a rondable with a shower, bathroom ensuite, and a studio in the gallery.
Yes.
So, I want to reach out to artists who are serious about art.
Yes.
They can send me their stuff, and they can come work here for 2 weeks. They can for free. But there will be rules. If people come, I've had people come here, they think they can push all day. Never. This is for an artist to come. They'll work for me to do some small jobs. I will teach them different techniques.
Yes.
Then we have a show with them in this gallery, and then from here we take photos. We send it to the Reed Gallery, to the White River Gallery, to anywhere, to my connections abroad.
Yes.
These are artists. I will know immediately if they're bullshitting.
No, absolutely.
You will know as well.
No, definitely. I know. No, I'm with you.
And also, of course, I had a mentor when I arrived in Joburg after university.
Who?
Bram Kruger, the older artists, maybe 6 years older than me. I walk into the studio, I think, how am I going to do that? I'm never going to do it.
Yeah.
And then you become the chummies, and they teach you things, and then you can do it. You know what I mean? Because when you're 25, you haven't learned too much.
True. Wayne, do you have an artist that you'd like to work with? Somebody who's still on your bucket list.
No, but the thing is, I introduced a lot of artists to various different galleries in Joburg, right?
Yeah.
Young ones, old ones. But now I'm in Komatipoort, and I thought there would be more artists, but there aren't. There's one guy. There's one Mozambican guy. He's not an artist. He's a craftsman. I'm telling you, the guy is a genius. He'll make a Toyota in metal with wheels, suspension, with the mirrors, with the number plate. Then he'll make the Mini. Anyway, I'm amazed that you haven't got someone like Toyota employing this guy, listen to this, to teach. Charlie's, I'll do that workshop. He comes, he will do it. We sit down, we get all the material, we get sponsored, whatever. He comes, big table, he comes. There's some kids, maybe for these ones they must be a bit older because they're going to work with the metal. Maybe they're 15, they're from a school there in Orlando. They come, yes, 4 of them. He teaches them to make this thing.
So tell me about the process of featuring in an art gallery. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, I've got Tembiso who lives in Orlando. He's got himself 20, 30 bodies of work, and he wants to get his art featured in an art gallery. It does not have to be the Everard Reed, because Sibiso is an unknown.
Yes.
But why the Everard Gallery? Something a bit more closer to home. What's the process? What should he do?
Well, I told you, in the 80s, the people didn't want our work, so I started our own gallery, the Fig Gallery. And you've got to you've got to stir trouble when you're a young artist to be seen. If
so following the rules actually doesn't work.
No, but if you're going to wait for some god to come walk into your place and say, "Listen, Mr.
I ordain you."
No, I'm buying 10 paintings, which has happened.
Oh, it does happen?
You don't even know what the story is. It's like 10. In those days, for not much money, but you just, and then now they want to show you. So you have to, I think to be an artist, you have to really be committed to a world of the unknown with its beauty, with its drama, and with its love. Yeah.
What are you currently working on?
I'm busy preparing the gallery and the residency, and it's in maybe Wednesday. It's all done.
Yeah.
And then I've just had a very big show, so I'm going to be going back to the pencil and the paper, and I'm just going to draw the garden because I don't have to sell it. I don't have to do anything. I want to see where is it going.
Yes.
That's it.
When is your next show?
I'm on a show in Hyde Park at the moment.
Hyde Park, Joburg, or London?
No, Joburg, and there is possibly a beach show in London.
Okay.
With Everard Reed, because they have
four galleries.
5 or 4.
No, I think it's 4. Yeah. It's Joburg, Cape Town, London, and something. Where do you get your inspiration?
From nature.
From nature.
Yeah, and pain and agony and love in the world. There's a lot. There's a lot of good in the world.
So you feed on what's happening and current, what pulls on your heartstrings.
Yeah, it's that simple. I think it was Picasso said, if you walk out your front door,
yeah,
and you're not inspired, then don't worry, forget it, because everything is here.
Yes.
We can make a video of this leaf falling, beautiful.
And that's
there's work. You can have 51 million ideas in 1 week, but you have to sit, you have to work, then it doesn't work. You have to, it's like any job.
Sure, but it's a labor of love more than anything else.
And a lifestyle, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That is very much true.
Because they think, oh, all these artists are tootsies just walking around smoking Zol. Not true. You see.
That's very much true.
You see, we work.
Okay.
Me and Zig.
Absolutely.
See ya, Bonga, and lovely meeting you guys. And get the residency number. Let's make Mbele great again.
Absolutely.
Not like Trump.
Not like Trump.
No.
Not like Trump. Ladies and gents, this has been one of the coolest Sunday mornings I've actually had in a long time. This interview was worth the trip. Inside Mbombela is already paying dividends. We get to meet so many cool and crazy people. I don't know many of you have actually met anybody who's actually met Nelson Mandela. We had the distinct pleasure this morning of actually being introduced and sitting down with the great man himself. Don't forget that to subscribe to the podcast is not going to cost you a cent. We had a funny laugh yesterday when somebody said that, no, it's Young Jalimali, so no. I got you referred to. You're just going to be told when the next episode launches. And we're doing all of this for you. So why actually miss something? So anyway, the man has left. He's been looking forward to this deal for quite a long time. So now he's going to get himself a beer. So yeah. Oh yeah, there he is. So yeah, this is your boy Leo Gunn. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe so that you don't miss a beat. And yeah, season 3. Kicking it off instead. Leo Gunn out.